Backyard birding is super fun. A lot of people do it. You get a lot of birds, surprisingly. So if you're a beginner, you have no idea what feeders to get or what kind of seed, I'm here to help out. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today, are different feeders, different seeds, and what birds like what. First, I'm going to talk about the peanut feeder. It's pretty much a long tube with a bunch of little squares. You need to put raw peanuts in there. You can either do the shelled or not shelled. This will attract woodpeckers, lots and lots of woodpeckers. So downy woodpeckers, hairy woodpeckers, red-bellied woodpeckers, even nuthatches, chickadees and titmice. So this guy alone will attract a good amount of birds. So this is one of my favorite feeders here, actually. If I could choose one, I would choose the peanut feeder. They're actually my favorite. This is a different feeder for black oil sunflower seed. It's very similar to the peanut feeder. It has very small squares, so when the bird flies in, it can kind of work its way through the wire and grab a seed. It's really fun to look at feeding behaviors of birds. So titmice and tufted titmice or chickadees, they'll actually fly in, grab a black oil sunflower seed or peanut, and they'll fly away and they'll stash it somewhere. Then they'll come back in and do the same thing. So they're kind of like squirrels, and they actually cache it away and save it for later. This feeder right here, this is designed for woodpeckers. So you can see it really looks like bark because you can find a lot of woodpeckers on the side of trees. They're drilling holes to look for bugs in their food, and they drill holes in trees called cavities to build their nests in. So this actually mimics cavities in trees, and inside is really delicious, a seed, peanut, fatty mix. So they'll actually come up, they'll perch on here, and then they'll kind of work their way through all of these holes and get their food. So this feeder right here, this is called the Niger Feeder, or a lot of people call it the thistle feeder. All right, so the thistle feeder has much, much smaller squares in the wire. That's because the thistle seed is very, very small. So if it were to go on the other ones, it will just spill right out. Goldfinches, house finches, really, really love the thistle feeder. They'll actually flock, so you'll get a lot of goldfinches at once on this big tube here, so it's really, really fun to watch. If you're just beginning backyard bird feeding, you can get something called a shepherd's hook, and it's just a pole with a hook on it where you can hang your feeders. Now you kind of have to be aware of placement, because if you're putting it in front of a window, you have to worry about window collisions with birds. So you can place your shepherd's hook either 3 feet or less in front of your window. If a Cooper's hawk or other hawk would fly in, so if that bird were to hit the window, it's a less impact because they're not going at full speed. Now, if you want your shepherd's hook further away, you can place it 10 feet or above away. That way, if a predator were to come in, they will fly away, and then they will see that window, and then they'll be able to avoid it. If you just put up your bird feeders, you need to allow at least a week or so for birds to actually come find it and acclimate to it. So don't worry if you put it up and the next day you still don't have birds. They will find them. Now, if you don't have birds, after a while, it could be a few different things. Number one, you probably don't have clean feeders and fresh food. So for example, Niger seed, it can mold very, very easily. So if you're not cleaning it out, or if the seed is stale or moldy, the birds won't eat that. So it just looks kind of gross to them. So that's one reason. Another reason is there could be a hawk present in your yard. So if you do see a hawk, the one thing you can do, you can just take down your bird feeders for a week or two and allow that hawk to actually move on to another food source. Another reason, especially the summertime, it's very common if birds don't come to your feeders, is they actually have natural food available to them. So that's their preferred food. So they'll actually go to that before they will go to your feeders. So that's probably another reason why you're not seeing as many birds at your feeders. All of our feeders are from Wild Birds Unlimited in Sandusky. They generously donated all of our feeders. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope it was very helpful, and I hope it inspired you guys to do some backyard bird feeding yourselves. If you have any questions, you can feel free to leave a comment. My name is Cheryl, and I'll be happy to help you out. So happy birding.